Excited about Airsoft? Hit the like button and comment to join other Airsofters in the conversation. What's up, Airsofters? It's no secret why the M4 platform is so popular. The modularity, availability of parts and accessories, modern comforts and ergonomics, all in a standardized system. They're all factors that make the M4 so universally loved. Now, with that said, despite the M4's popularity, it typically isn't chambered for the most ubiquitous cartridge in the world, the 7.62x39. So the guys at CMMG set out to create a rifle platform that combined all of the benefits of the AR-15 platform and used the most commonly available ammunition, enabling NATO forces in theater to scavenge and use locally available ammunition sources. This is the Airsoft version of the rifle they created. The EMG Helios CMMG licensed Mark 47 Airsoft AEG. Originally billed as the Mutant, the CMMG Mark 47 is one of the coolest looking AK M4 hybrid platforms available. There are several models available from CMMG in the real world, each with a configuration tailored specifically to the user's needs and feature requirements. The Banshee line is catered more towards PCCs, PDWs, and SBRs. The Resolute line focuses more on longer barrel lengths and full-sized rifles, and the Endeavor line concentrates on AR platform long-range rifles. All of CMMG's expertly crafted systems offer a variety of stock, handguard, and feature set options in an impressively wide range of calibers. Everything from PCCs to 5.56 all the way up to 308s, including this beauty right here. They're well thought out, well balanced, and built to order. And thankfully, all of that attention to detail, excellent craftsmanship, and finely tuned performance has been distilled into some very impressive new additions to the EMG Helios lineup. But before we dive too deep into these babies, let's take a look at how they arrive in the box. First, of course, we're presented with an all-black cardboard box emblazoned with CMMG's logo. Upon opening the cover, we're presented with our CMMG model of choice. In this case, the CMMG Mark 47 Banshee PDW, cushioned safely on all sides by open-cell polyurethane foam. Also inside is the included mid-cap AK magazine, a certificate of authenticity and license, some BBs, and the tool for removing the spring guide. As I'm sure you can see, the CMMG Banshee Mark 47 is quite a unique looking platform, beautifully blending the advantages of the AK cartridge system with the familiar controls, layout, style, and ergonomics of the AR-15 platform. Up front, we get our first advantage over a traditional AK design scheme: accessory mounting provisions, accomplished thanks to the precision CNC machined free float slim M-LOK handguard. There are, of course, 3 different lengths available depending on which model you choose. The Banshee handguard comes in at 6 or 9 inch lengths, and the Resolute is a whopping 15 inches. M-LOK slots all the way down both sides and the bottom, and a full-length pick rail up top which blends beautifully right into the receiver, which is arguably the star of the show. Crafted out of a high-quality metal alloy, this receiver sports a weather-resistant matte black finish, M4 fire controls on the left-hand side, and a familiar charging handle and dust cover design. And here's where things start to break with tradition a bit. Everything we've covered so far is basically an M4. What makes this platform different is, instead of the AR-15 M4 magazine you might expect, the CMMG Mark 47 uses the very, very cool AK magazine. We know, this isn't the first of its kind. The Knights Armament SR47 also combines M4 features with an AK mag, but CMMG just does it better. This design lacks a magazine well, which allows for a more traditional AK reload procedure, utilizing a center-mounted ambidextrous paddle mag release as opposed to the AR-15's button release. This enables cool AK-style mag reloads like the AK Flick, and gives you more reliable, quicker mag changes when compared to other AK AR-15 hybrid systems of the past, not to mention wider magazine compatibility with other AK mag brands in Airsoft. Touching once again on the controls layout, the fire selector allows for the familiar 180-degree sweep from safe, semi into full auto. Also, thanks to the AR-15 configuration, a standard A2 pattern motor/pistol grip has been employed, though I will say this one is very nicely textured and very comfortable. You could always swap it to one that you liked more. Making hop-up adjustments is also going to be very familiar to M4 AEG users, as pulling back on the charging handle releases the dust cover and allows you access to the hop-up unit. You will need to hold the charging handle back in place. There is no bolt release on these, but making that adjustment to a standard rotating hop-up unit is really, really easy. And when you're done, simply release the charging handle and you can close your dust cover if you'd like. Moving back from the receiver, we're again presented with something very familiar, but also an advantage over the traditional AK system, a standard receiver extension or buffer tube. Not only does this provide an excellent place to tuck a battery, thanks to these puppies being rear wired, it also allows you to swap the stock to any number of other commonly available M4 stocks on the market if you wanted to change things up. Now here's something cool. This stock has a little trick up its sleeve. Now this is a crane stock with side pods on either side that are great for storing nunchuck style batteries, and it has a toolless lever on the back that gives you access quickly and conveniently to the battery compartment, which is pre-wired to the rear two Deans. But that in itself is not the trick. This is. The CMMG fastback buffer tube features chamfered locking slots on the buffer tube, which work in combination with the locking pin on the stock, allowing you to quickly deploy from fully collapsed out to fully extended, or any final position of your choosing, aided by a stop screw that can be threaded into these holes here. Performance-wise, I absolutely love the CMMG SEMA Platinum gearbox. The internals are great right out of the box, giving you really snappy trigger response. Thanks to the micro switch trigger, it feels really, really positive. And flipping this to full auto, you get great rate of fire out of the box with an 11.1. So good. These new AEGs look incredible, and the external features are surely going to make for a unique competitive experience. But looks alone do not an excellent AEG make. No, we've got to test them, put them through the ringer, see how they stack up. Out at the range, our FPS test showed an average of just about 350 FPS and about 22 rounds per second on full auto in the Mark 47's shortest configuration, and about 390 FPS and about 21 rounds per second on full auto in its longest configuration. Both lengths were tested using 0.20 gram BBs and a Matrix 11.1 volt 1200 milliamp LiPo battery. In our distance and accuracy test, the CMMG Mark 47 Resolute was able to land 9 out of 10 shots on our 6-inch plate and placed a nice tight grouping on our Evike Professional silhouette target at 50 feet. The Mark 47 Banshee, the shortest version, performed equally well at 50 feet, and out at the 100-foot mark, we really started to see the differences in barrel lengths. The full-length Resolute was still able to hit the 6-inch plate a handful of times, and again placed a decent-sized grouping on our silhouette target, whereas the Banshee struggled a bit to land hits on the plate at that distance. Thankfully though, the silhouette target was no problem for the shorter barrel of the Banshee at further distances. The CMMG Mark 47 certainly doesn't suffer in the distance department, but if you'd like to improve the accuracy at distance and tighten up your groupings a bit, an upgraded inner barrel, bucking, and nub, all of which are available here at Evike.com, would certainly do the trick. At this point, we tested for mag fitment and compatibility, and here's what we found. There were a couple mags that fit somewhat loosely in the mag well, leading to some issues with feeding, but every mag that had a nice positive fitment fed beautifully. The internals are just as feature-rich as the rest of the AEG. Firstly, this has a true quick change spring system. All you need to do is remove the buffer tube and then unscrew the cap on the back of the receiver, which is actually the spring guide, and the main spring comes right out. This makes it easy to change FPS from outdoor to indoor play or vice versa without removing the gearbox. The upper receiver comes off just like an M4, and that reveals a very different looking hop-up unit. This chamber is the same one SEMA uses for their SR47 AEG, which we covered in a previous video. It's full metal, has a unique shape to accommodate AK mags, and enables this platform to use a standard version 2 sized gearbox. The barrel and bucking are standard AEG spec, and can be easily upgraded with any aftermarket AEG parts from our website. Speaking of gearboxes, this is a SEMA Platinum EMG branded version 2 gearbox with 8mm bearings. Inside, we see what gives this platform its very snappy trigger response and impressive rate of fire, the 13:1 ratio EMG gears and SEMA's MOSFET/ETU. These gears have been short-stroked by 4 teeth, and there's a metal delayer cam on the sector gear. Spinning these gears is a SEMA-branded high-torque long-type motor. The ETU has a microswitch that will work with standard V2 triggers, and also a sensor that works with a traditional disconnector lever to detect cycles. Pretty cool. Other components include a polymer piston with a full metal rack of teeth, an aluminum ported piston head with 2 O-rings and a mushroom shape. The piston also includes a thrust bearing. The cylinder is ported, the cylinder head is aluminum with 2 O-rings, and is shaped to receive the mushroom-shaped piston head. All of these components work collectively to deliver very nice compression out of the box. The only air seal component lacking an O-ring in the whole system is the polymer nozzle. One more note is that the tappet plate has been profiled for this reinforced gearbox, so you'll need a similar profile if you're looking for a replacement. And lastly, there's a reinforced collar for the motor, which aids in motor alignment. For all intents and purposes, this entire gearbox system is V2 compatible, meaning it will take just about any upgrades or aftermarket parts you can throw at it. So, with this CMMG blending 2 very popular platforms, the AK and the M4, that raises the question, is this a better M4 or a better AK? No matter which way you look at it, the Mark 47 is a unique combination of 2 of the most popular systems in the world, and in Airsoft, and the Airsoft world. With a gorgeous design, excellent performance and internals, and EMG Helios build quality, this CMMG Mark 47 should definitely be an addition to anyone's Airsoft arsenal. Check out your next Airsoft AEG on our website in all 3 lengths right here at Evike.com. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on the action. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, check out our TikTok, and join us on Facebook for everything Airsoft.